Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Abdulaziz. How are you?
Good. You?
I'm good, thank you. Alhamdulillah. Abdulaziz, you sent me the link, but I couldn't open it. Hmm?
Yeah.
Because I think, did you actually get the link from your teacher?
No.
So where did you get it?
I created.
But did you then see my email? Can you check your email? Because it is asking access request. You see this one, you send this here, right? When I click this, what is that? Abdulaziz. Here is a whole unit. Abdullah, what is it? I don't see anything here, you see? Oh, here. Where? I don't see anything here. Yes, Abdulaziz. What is it? I can't see anything. Why don't you send this in PDF or email me or just send it in Telegram? What is the name of the topic, Abdulaziz?
Right triangles and trigonometry.
Come on, man. Last time you asked me, actually, you're learning about rectangles,
Yeah.
quadrilaterals. Okay. I guess so, but you said that it is rectangles and quadrilaterals. That's why I prepared something different. It's okay. So you are in chapter 7 then at school. Okay. All right. Abdullah, let's start then. All right. So
Yeah.
this one is about right angle triangle, right triangles and the trigonometry. And we have not too much. You just write your name quickly. And today is okay, Abdulaziz.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Abdulaziz, you know that a right triangle is a special triangle where one of the angles is 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
Right? If you don't understand, just ask why is it so? How is it so? I don't know. I'll explain again. If you just say yes, yes, I assume that you understand. All right, because this one is one-to-one and the private tutoring. If you don't understand anything, ask. I can teach again and again and again. Because if you don't understand, math is a conceptual subject. Everything is related to each other. You don't understand the next topic well. So Abdullah, as you see here, we have a right angle triangle. Why do we call this right triangle? Because one of the angles is right angle. That's 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And the longest side in this triangle, C, it is called what?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse, right? And this
Yeah.
A and B, short sides, they are called legs, right? Okay,
Legs.
leg.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this one is called legs, right? And also the shorter side called leg. And this one is hypotenuse. Okay. So now Pythagorean theorem says that that is simple but very important theorem in math. One of the most important theorems. That's really easy to memorize, right? It says that a squared plus b squared is always equal to c squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually Pythagorean theorem is used to find what? To find the missing side, right? Missing side of a right triangle. You see, actually, Pythagorean theorem is all about right angle triangle. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side of a right triangle. Okay? And sides A and B are called what?
Legs.
Legs. So they are called legs. And how about side C?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. Side C is called hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. For any right angle triangle, right, we have this theorem. That's Pythagorean theorem. What is that? That is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Now let's practice this. So now from here, again, if I just take the square root, right, Abdulaziz, let me change your name immediately because every time I see lower, and all right, Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz, if you solve this equation for C, what do we have here? Take the square root, right? So I get here C will be equal to square root of A squared plus B squared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's not a hard thing, I think. All right. Now let's do this question together. Just tell me how to do that. Keep your calculator on your desk, okay? We have to use calculator for this. And from here, we know that x squared is equal to 8 squared plus 13 squared, right?
Yeah.
So what is x? First write and after the write the result. That is 8 squared plus 13 squared. And now calculate and tell me the answer. What is it?
233.
Yeah, under the square root. Okay. So what is square root of 64 plus 169? What did you get? It is 233, but approximately it is 15.3, right?
Yeah.
Approximately. If it's exactly, that's equal to 233, right?
Yeah.
233. Okay. And how about question two? And after writing this, immediately we can find x. Okay, so x is equal to square root of 22 squared plus 27 squared. So what is the answer to one decimal place, Abdulaziz? Come on, faster. No,
1230.
after the square root, take the square root. What is it? It is 34.82. That is just 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do a bit faster. So next question. Again, here, one leg is missing. If you write the equation, what do I write here? X squared plus 7 squared is equal to 9 squared, right?
Yeah.
So we have to solve this for x squared. Move to the right hand side. X squared is equal to, what is 9 squared?
81.
81 minus, what is 7 squared? Don't use a calculator for small numbers, Abdulaziz.
49.
49. What is 81 minus 49?
32.
32, right? So now if we just find x, so this x will be equal to square root of 32, which is approximately equal to
5.6.
5.7 because 65, right?
Yeah.
So that's why when you run this, you need to run up because 5 is greater than 4, 5.7. Okay. Now do
Yeah.
question 4 and tell me the answer. What is x?
Uh, 35.5.
What? What? Say again?
35.5.
35? How? Abdulaziz, in a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is the longest side, right?
Yeah.
So how can this x be 35? Did you say 35?
Yeah.
So how can it be longer than hypotenuse? You should write in your notebook, I think. If you don't write, I don't think you'll learn. Look, first, again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm writing this equation first. X squared, the first leg. The second one is 19.1 squared. So that's equal to 30.5 squared, right? Right?
Yeah.
And now move this to the right-hand side. So here we have x squared will be equal to 30.5 squared minus 19.1 squared, right?
Yeah.
Then what is x? X will be equal to square root because Abdullah, I'm just using this. If square root is equal to a, whatever it is, of course a is not negative number. What is x? Actually, it's plus minus, but here is positive. So it will be square root of a. So this will be equal to 30.5 squared minus 19.1 squared. Did you calculate like this? I don't think so. And now if we calculate this, it will be equal to 23.8. 23.8. Right?
Yeah.
What is your mistake here?
I uh
You added?
added. Yeah.
No, come on, Abdulaziz. Your father told me that your math was so good in Tashkent. It's a very fundamental thing. Right? If you remember, if Abdulaziz, if you have here a plus b is equal to c, if you move b to the right hand side, it will be minus, right? C minus b, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Abdulaziz, I will give you 2 minutes. Try question 5. Using Pythagorean theorem, how would you calculate this x? Question 5, 2 minutes.
Uh, 9.5.
What is it?
9.5.
What? Can you speak louder?
9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
No. Abdulaziz, look. So this is actually marked right. So that means that if it is 24, right? Okay, it's 24. So that means we call this isosceles triangle because two sides are equal, right?
Yeah.
So if the base, you see 22, and also this side, right, it should be equal to this, right?
Yeah.
So now actually this means say it is 21 because half of 22 is, sorry, 11, right?
Yeah.
Now it forms a right angle triangle. I'm going to write the equation now. X squared, the first leg, the second one is 11 squared, should be equal to 24 squared, right? And now move this to the right hand side. Then what is x? X will be square root of 24 squared minus 11 squared. Did you write like this?
No.
What did you write then here? What did you write?
Uh, 24 plus 22.
24 plus 22?
Yeah.
Why? Why plus 22?
I know.
Huh?
I know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
If you don't know, why did you add? Anyway, just think here we have right angle triangle, and this guys, this dot, you see this? Let me just label this by A. So this one is C, and this one is B. Now these guys form a right angle triangle. If it's a right angle triangle, then we can use Pythagorean theorem. And Pythagorean theorem says in any right angle triangle, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And now if you calculate this, square root of 24 squared minus 11 squared, that's equal to, what is it? 21.3. That is 21.3. Right? Come on, Abdullah, you're scaring me. You're a lot of students, Why did they add this? I don't know. Don't say that. If you don't know, then don't add it. You should ask yourself, why am I adding? Based on what fact, what rule, right? Right,
Yeah.
Abdulaziz?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First, ask yourself, why am I doing this? If you cannot find any base, then don't do that. Now, if you're solving multiple choice question, you can guess, but here you should not guess. Let's do the next question, Abdulaziz. Look at this, the figure in question 6. Do you see any right angle triangle here?
Yeah.
Where?
X.
We don't have any right triangle here. We have right angle, but we don't have right triangle here. See, if I just label this right triangle, suppose this one is A, so this one is B, so this one is C, and this one is D. Do we have any right triangle? No. But I'm just going to find, we need to find C, right? Okay.
Yeah.
How can I find C? I will draw an altitude, okay? Parallel to BC from here. Look, I am going to draw this. Can I do this? If I draw this, because they are parallel, these two guys are parallel, okay? So that means that this angle will be 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And now, Abdulaziz, let me use different color here so we can see it clearly. So what do you tell me about this figure? It's a rectangle, right?
Yeah.
So
It
that
looks like.
means that if this bottom is 5, also this should be 5. If this BC is X, also this should be X, right? Right?
Yeah.
And this remaining part, 18 minus 5, this should be 13, right?
Yeah.
And now, can you see this right triangle? You see this
Yeah.
right triangle? Can you see this?
Yeah.
So I can use Pythagorean theorem then. What is it? It is x squared plus second leg 13 squared and the hypotenuse, which is faced by right angle, that is 16 squared, right? Can you see that? I'm talking about this triangle, Abdulaziz. You see? This one. Hmm? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Abdulaziz, you need to print out these papers. If print out and label, then you can learn geometry. Otherwise, you cannot learn much. Okay, Abdullah, I'm moving 13 squared to the right-hand side. This plus will be minus. So x squared will be equal to 16 squared minus 13 squared, right? If you want first, we can evaluate. What is 16 squared minus 13 squared? That's equal to 87, right?
Yeah.
So if x squared is equal to 87, what is x? Square root of 87, right? So which is equal to approximately, if you just calculate, square root of 87 is approximately 9.3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Abdulaziz, it's not hard, but you need to write it down. If you really want to understand, at the beginning it may be a little bit hard, but once you understand the logic of math, it will be easy. Now, Abdulaziz, question 7, I will give you 2 minutes. Draw, okay, in your notebook. If you have a ruler, with ruler, draw and try to solve this. I will give you 2 minutes. Then after 2 minutes, we will discuss. First, I want you to try. What we need to know here is only the Pythagorean theorem. In a right angle triangle, the sum of the squares of legs, right, is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. A square plus c square, b square equals c square. That's it. Yes, Abdulaziz. An idea? Are you calculating or are you thinking?
Calculating.
Good.
28.9.
28.9?
Yeah.
No. How did you get it?
Uh,
Hmm?
I subtracted 29 and 14
Why did you subtract? Why? Huh?
because the legs.
No. Abdulaziz, is this angle 90 degrees?
No.
No, then why are you subtracting that? I don't understand. Why? Huh?
Guessing.
What?
Guessing.
What? Abdulaziz. Look, Abdulaziz, if it is a right angle, then I can apply Pythagorean theorem. If it is not right angle, we cannot. First, I have to make sure that I have that condition. What condition is it? One of the angles must be 90 degrees, right? And the side opposite that right angle, it is hypotenuse. Hypotenuse squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. But only I know here is, Abdulaziz, this angle is 90 degrees. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right? I know that this right angle triangle. So if I just label this, Abdulaziz, suppose that this one is A, this one is C, and this one is B. And this one is, let's say, this D. Triangle A, B, C, and triangle B, C, D. And these guys are right angle triangle. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Abdulaziz, what is X? X is equal to AC plus CD, right? Right?
Yeah.
If I just label like this, Abdulaziz, I can write like this. Or suppose that this one is, let's say this A, so this side is B. So this X is equal to A plus B, right? You're just dividing one stick into two pieces, right? So the total length of the stick will be the sum of these two pieces, right? Hello,
Yeah.
Abdulaziz. So, Abdulaziz, look, the first step from this ABC, triangle ABC, is a right angle triangle. So I'm going to apply Pythagorean theorem. So from here, I have a squared plus 12 squared. So that is equal to what? 14 squared. And in the same way, in the second triangle, I'm going to apply Pythagorean theorem because also BCD is a right angle triangle. So B squared plus 12 squared, that's equal to 29 squared, right?
Yeah.
Now from this first equation, I can write here a squared is equal to 14, 14 squared minus 12 squared. So a squared is equal to, what is 14 squared? 196 minus 12 squared, 144. That's equal to
52.
52. So A is equal to square root of 52. And now from the second equation, I'm going to find B. B squared equals 29 squared minus 12 squared, which is equal to, let's calculate it, 29 squared minus 12 squared. That's equal to 697. Then what is B? B is equal to square root of 697, right?
Yeah.
And now, Abdulaziz, we need to find X. So the second step is, what is X? X is A plus B, which is square root of 52 plus square root of 697. And now, use your calculator, we can approximate, right? That is square root of 52 plus square root of 697. To one
32.
decimal
33.
place, it is 33.6. Right?
Yeah.
This is how we solve this, Abdulaziz. Are you learning similar things at school? Are you learning about Pythagorean theorem? Hello? Are you learning Pythagorean theorem at school?
No.
So what are you learning then?
Mm, fractions.
What?
Fractions.
Fractions?
Yeah.
What do you mean fractions?
Uh, radicals.
But you told me that now at school you are studying triangles and trigonometry.
Yeah.
Okay. You can have a look. Okay. Let me see if something different. Let's continue. Atlas, have a look. Okay. Question 8. I will give 2 minutes. I want you to give a try. What you know is Pythagorean theorem. If it is a right angle triangle, a squared plus b squared is c squared. Okay. Think and try to do this. Okay. I'll give it 2 minutes. Find x. Yes, Abdulaziz. What did you get?
59.
59?
Yeah.
Abdullah, how can it be 59? Look at the longest size, 28. It should be less than 28. How did you get 59? How many right angle triangles or right triangles do you see in this picture in question 8?
2.
Two, right?
Yeah.
So suppose then the first one, Abdulaziz, the first one, I don't know this side, right? I don't know this side. Let me just label this by y, okay? First, I'm going to find y in the first step because if I don't know this side, I cannot find x. So this y and 10, they are legs. So y squared plus 10 squared, that's equal to 25 squared, right? And now from this equation, I just need y squared, not y. Y squared will be 25 squared, 625, minus 10 squared is 100. So that's equal to 525, right?
Yeah.
Now next step, I'm going to find x. Now look at the second triangle. X and y are legs, right? And here, x and y, they are legs, right?
Yeah.
Because right angle, opposite right angle, we have 28. That is hypotenuse. So I'm going to write here x squared plus y squared. That's equal to 28 squared. And now x squared, I know the value of y squared, right? That is 525. 525 equals, what is 28 squared? That should be 784.
784.
So that's equal to 784. Now move this to the right hand side. I have here x squared equals 784 minus 525. So 525, that's equal to 259. So x is equal to square root of 259. And now, if you just approximate this, square root of 259, that's equal to 16 point, what is it, 09, so 16.1. Right? Does it make sense?
Why 16?
Because square root of 259, if you just calculate this over the calculator, that's 16.09, which is 16.1. Right?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Very.
Which part you didn't understand, Abdulaziz? If you don't understand what are you learning at school? I mean, this is very basic stuff. We are just practicing only one theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Which part you didn't understand? Step number one or step number two, which part you didn't understand?
First.
The first one you didn't understand?
Yeah.
But you said that here you see two right angle triangles. In a right angle triangle, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Did you understand this equation?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So I'm applying this one to this equation. Now look at this triangle. Let me just shade this. I'm talking about this triangle. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Is it a right angle triangle?
Yes.
What are the legs?
10, 25.
No, 10 and y.
Oh, yeah.
Because this 25 is faced by right angle, right? That is hypotenuse. Right? So that's why I'm writing here legs y squared, the first one. The first one. And the second leg, right? That's y squared. So that's equal to the square of the hypotenuse, which is 25 squared. And after that, we are solving equation. A square plus b square. A is y, b is 10, c is 25. The problem is, number one, Abdulaziz, what you are learning, you don't know, number one. Number two, maybe this questions you must be on your table. And before the class, you need to have a look. Because the Pythagorean theorem, you started this 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. Now you're 10th grade, you're restarting this. You have to solve it in the paper. You don't solve it, you try this, you cannot solve it, and ask, Mr. Qasim, I tried this question, and this is my way. Can you check this? I will send this paper to you. You have to solve these questions. Take a picture and send it to me. Let me see how you're working on it. By just watching, listening, you cannot learn math, Abdulaziz. You should write it down with a ruler, draw, and think. Maybe at the beginning, it may be a bit hard, but once you understand the logic, it gets easier. Now, let's do question 9. What do we call this figure? It has a special name, right?
Polygon.
Hmm?
Polygon.
No. Polygon is a general name, but it has a special name, right? The first letter is T. The second letter is R. A. You remember? P. You know this figure?
No.
Trapezoids. In Uzbek, we call it trapezia.
Mm,
Trapezoids. Trapezoid is a special quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides. So that means at the top and bottom, they are parallel to each other. But actually, this one is isosceles trapezoid. You see here marked left and right sides, they are equal. So that means that if this side is 20, and also it should be 20, right?
mm,
So since it is isosceles, and also these sides, they must be equal to each other. This equals this. So this should be 26. Abdullah, if it is 26, what is the length of this part? Can you tell me? What is the length of these parts?
8.
40 minus 26. It is 14. 14 divided by 2. It is 7, right? 7 plus 7, 14. 14 plus 26 is 40, right?
Yeah.
Now, as you see here, and this guy, let me just shade it for you. This guy, right? They form a right angle triangle. You see the shaded part. So I'm going to write the equation here. X squared, it is one leg. The second one is 7 squared. And the hypotenuse is 20 squared. Is that right? A squared plus B squared. Give me a minute. Okay, Abdulaziz, can you see that? The right angle, right triangle. Let me put letters for you. I'm talking about this A. So this one is B. This one is C. Is it the right angle triangle?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So I'm just using again Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals 20, C squared. A is X, B is 7, C is 20. And now we need to solve this. To solve equation means that you need to isolate unknown. So X squared equals 20 squared, that is 400, minus 7 squared is 49, which is equal to 351. What is X? Square root of 351. Now, approximately, if you just calculate this, 18.7. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Abdullah, I'll give you homework. Let's do this. And in looking at this one, you should practice these homework questions. Okay, homework is not here. Actually, homework is here. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about applications. Read question 10.
A roofer learned a 16-foot ladder against a house if the base of the ladder is 5 feet. from the house, how high up the house uh, does the ladder reach?
A roofer leaned a 16-foot ladder, right, against a house. If the base of the ladder, it says that if the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the house, how high up the house does the ladder reach? Okay. What is a ladder in Uzbek? Hmm?
I don't know.
Narwan. You know what is Narwan?
Huh?
Do you speak Uzbek well?
Yeah,
You know Narwan? You just put something and climb, right? To reach some upper part of the, what is this? Wall. Ladder against the wall. Okay, like this. You see ladder against a wall.
no,
So this one is the base of the ladder. That is 5 feet from this, what is this? Uh, Wall. And what is the length of the ladder? It is 5 feet. The
yeah,
question is, how high can this ladder reach the wall, right?
yeah,
There's a question saying that you see a roofer lean a 16-foot ladder or a 16-foot ladder against a house. If the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the house, how high up the house does the ladder reach? So that is a question about. Now, suppose that Abdulaziz, so that one is the ground, okay? So this one is our wall, okay? This one is house or wall. So we are just actually, put the ladder like this. So this is a base of the ladder. Let me just label this by B. And this is the top of the house. Let's say this H. It says that this base of the ladder is 5 feet away from the base, right? This is a house, the wall. And what is the length of the ladder? It is 16, right? It is 16. The question is, what is the height of the, what is this? How high can the ladder reach? That's H. And since the wall is 90 degrees to the ground, so it means that it forms a right angled triangle, right? You see, it forms a right angled triangle, right?
yeah,
So now I'm going to write the equation now. So H squared, Pythagorean theorem, plus 5 squared, it should be equal to 16 squared. And now H squared equals 16 squared, 2, 5, 6. 5 squared is 25. So I'm going to find this. That's equal to 231. So what is the height that the ladder can reach? Square root of 231. 231, right? So that
yeah,
is approximately equal to 15.2, right? Does it make sense, Abdulaziz?
yeah. A little bit.
Good. That's a question 11. And maybe I'll finish the class. Okay, maybe 11, 12. Read question 12.
Well,
Yeah, 11.
Kurt is building a rectangular deck. If the dimensions of the deck are 10 feet by 23 feet, what is the length of the diagonal of the desk?
Okay. So we are talking about this rectangular deck. Okay, just this one. Let me show you what is rectangular deck so that you can understand much better. Okay. It is in Uzbek we just call this kind of soda, right? And that's like this, something like this, rectangular. Okay, Abdulaziz.
Yeah,
Okay. So rectangular deck, if the dimension means length and width, right, of the deck are 10 and 23. So that means that if this one is 10, so the length should be 23. What is the question? What is the length of the diagonal? Diagonal is a line segment that joins two non-adjacent vertices of a polygon. So in our case, diagonal is this, right?
Yeah.
So since it's a rectangle, this angle is 90 degrees. So diagonal, I don't know. Let's label this by D. Now I'm going to write our equation again. So that's a hypotenuse. So what is D squared? So that's equal to 23 squared plus 10 squared. And if you calculate this, 23 squared is how much? 529. And that 100. So that's equal to 629. And now what is D? D is square root of 6 to 9, which is approximately equal to 625. That is 25. I think it should be 25.0 something. Okay, 629. That is 25.07. So that's 25.1 feet, right? So it should be feet. They say this the most important thing is, Abdulaziz, to understand the problem correctly. If you don't understand the problem, you can't solve it. Now your problem is you don't understand the question correctly. If you understand, you can solve it, but you misunderstand the question or misimagine. You know the imagine, but okay, Abdulaziz.
Yeah.
Now you do question 12, and I'll finish the class. Okay. Now read the question first.
Ashley jogged 3.4 miles east, then 5.7 miles south. How far is Ashley from her starting point?
How far is Ashley from starting point? To do this one first, you need to draw here the directions, right, Abdulaziz? So this one is actually, this side is north, right? This is south.
Yeah.
As if this one is east and the west. Okay, I'll give you
Yeah.
2 minutes, then we'll discuss and finish the class. Come on.
Uh, 6.60.
6.60?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So suppose that Ashley is standing here. Okay, so starting point, let me just label this by A. And the east, right, just running in this direction for 3.4 miles. And after that, south is this direction, right? So that is, let's say this 5.7 miles. That's the final point. What is the question? What is the distance between our starting point and final point? So let's say this AF, right? Let's say this D. So D is equal to square root of 3.4 squared and 5.7 squared, which is equal to, right? Let me just write here, uh, square root of 3.4 squared plus 5.7 squared. So that's equal to 6.6. Very good. That's correct. 6.6 miles. Okay, Abdullah, if you study like this, you will improve, but you should understand every step. Okay, slowly, but step by step.
Okay.
Because in math, the same thing will repeat. We're not going to learn everything, different things. The logic is the same. I'm going to share this paper with you. If possible, print in the class time. It must be on your table. You should write on this. Okay, Abdulaziz. This actual
Yeah.
homework page, only one page. Do these questions yourself. Okay, say 8 questions.
Okay.
Abdulaziz, have a good night. See you on Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.